Morning, good morning. Happy Sunday morning, everyone. Today is September 1st already. Wow, September 1st, 2024. It is Labor Day weekend. I'm not ready for the summer to end. And by the way, summer doesn't end until like September 22nd. So still have 3 more weeks. Hopefully we can get some good weather. We are going to have a nice warm day today here in the Northeast. So if you are watching today, leave me a comment. Let me know that you're here. If you come back and watch the replay, leave me a comment. Let me know that you're watching the replay so that I can see all of your comments. So I found myself in a position this week where I had the opportunity to make some thank you cards, and I needed to make multiple thank you cards. So I was looking for a simple but wow kind of a thank you card, and I thought this card was pretty easy to make. So I thought, well, why not demonstrate this one? So it's really simple. It uses one sheet of cardstock and a couple of other supplies, but it's pretty simple. And I have a bunch of alternates that I made that you can that I'll show you at the end of the video. So right now I just want to I'm gonna flip down to the desk cam and go over so the card that I made last week, the one with the coffee at camp, I was looking at it and realized I didn't add a sentiment to it, and I thought, well, what is this card? So well, to me the card was all about coffee. So just flip to the desk cam. So I thought I'm going to add a sentiment that says, you're the best part of my day, because my coffee truly is the best part of my day. It's blank inside, left it in there. So just let me know in the comments, what sentiment would you add to this card? Okay, move that out of the way. And let's bring in the supplies that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using this cardstock is the Barely Beige cardstock. And I'm going to be using the Moody Mauve classic ink pad. I am going to be using from this is a retired bundle. You can't a stamp set and die, so you can't get this anymore. But I love how simple this thank you is. And for this card, I just wanted something very simple. So I'm going to be using that. And I'm going to also be using this small die that comes with this, this set. I'm also going to be using Seaside Wishes. We've used this one before, and I'm really just using it so that I can get to this. Sometimes the simplest things mean the most. I'm not going to be using any of the other stamps or dies or embossing folder from this set. So I'm just going to be using this. Sometimes the simplest things mean the most, because when you're saying thank you to somebody, sometimes it really is just because they did something simple, but it really meant the world to you. I am also going to be using this embossing folder. This embossing folder is called Leaf Fall. This is a 3D embossing folder. This is an online exclusive. So you can only get this on StampinUp.com online. It's simple, it's clean, it's classic. I liked it, so that's what we're going to be using. Okay. So let's just pull that out, get that ready. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, let me just, you see how, it's just some nice, beautiful, simple leaves. I really like that. So just set that aside, and I'm going to set the ink aside, and I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. All right. So what we're going to do, have it upside down. What I'm going to do with this paper trimmer, turn my ring light on. I apologize for the reflection. That will go away as soon as I put my paper on it. Okay. So we're going to take this cardstock. It's 8.5 by 11, standard size cardstock, and we're just going to score it. We're going to score it at the 4 1/4 on the 8.5 inch side. So we're just scoring it in half, and then we're going to turn it to the long side, the 11-inch side, and we're going to score that at 5.5 inches. So you're scoring it halfway in both directions. Okay, so then you have these score marks. Now, when you're scoring and you're folding, you're always folding your cardstock to the side of the score that has the embossed side, so the raised edge, instead of the side that has the little groove. Okay, all right. So with your cardstock, when you just did the scoring, the side of the cardstock right now, you have the groove. So what we are going to do right here is we are going to remove the upper right hand section of this cardstock. So we're going to remove this upper right hand section right here. So I'm just going to line this back up to the 4 1/4, which is where I scored it, and I'm going to bring my cutting blade right up to the 5.5 inch mark on the side of this clear ruler here, and I'm gonna have to put it in the channel first. Okay, line it up right there. The little mark on the side of the cutting blade, there's a little mark that you line right up with that mark on the clear section of the ruler here. Put your blade down, and I'm just going to push up towards the edge. So that cut right on that groove. Now I have to replace my blades. I'm starting to get this little rough edge, so I do have to replace my blade, and I will do that after this video. So then I'm going to just turn the paper. Now remember, we're removing the upper right hand section, this section here. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to line this up with the 5.5 inch, which is where my groove is. I'm going to remove that paper that's there. I'm going to bring my blade now down to the 4 1/4, which is where that score mark is. And I'm going to cut up. And that removes that. Now we're not going to be using this. I'm going to use one small piece of this, so I'm just going to set this aside. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you have removed this upper right hand section. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over this way. So now you have this upper left hand corner is removed. The reason that we're flipping it over is because I want to cut I want to cut on the side that I'm going to be folding towards. So it just made more sense to flip it and then do my cutting. So from here, when you're cutting here, for this section that is now your upper right hand section, we are going to be cutting from this upper left hand corner down to the score line in the lower right hand corner of this section here. So to do that, I'm just going to, I've got a bunch of paper in my channel here, so I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool and just scrape that out a little bit. That is because my blade is dull and I need to replace it. Okay, So what we're going to do is, I like to line up this score mark first down here. And I'm sure you can't really see that on the camera, so I'm not going to try. But I like to put that right in that channel, right where I want it. And I hold my finger here, and I just pivot my paper until that corner is also in the channel up here. Okay. Now, when you're cutting, you don't want to cut into an angle because it could jam up the paper. So I'm just going to move my cutting blade down. I'm going to turn my cutting blade around. Might get a little extra life out of that if I flip that around. So I'm just going to bring it down to this side here. And I'm going to cut up towards this because I've got more of a surface for the blade to cut, so it's not going to jam up. So I'm just going to do that and cut up there, and I'm going to remove this piece. Do not discard this piece. We're going to use this. Okay. So then the next, again, I'm going to look for my spare blades. They're in some drawer somewhere here. All right. So now we cut that. So you see how we now have this section here. So now this lower left-hand section that we have here, we're going to cut this one from the upper right-hand corner of the section down to the lower left-hand corner. So where those two original score marks were, where they intersect right there, the very center of the paper, right down here to this lower left-hand edge. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to line this center up here and move my corner, my lower corner, which you can't see because it's not in the camera. I'm going to move this lower corner here down to the channel. So that's what I'm doing, and I apologize if you can't see all of that on camera. Let me move this up a little bit. Yeah, you can see that a little bit better. So we've got this right where the cutting channel is, and I've got this one in the channel also. So for this one, because I don't want to accidentally cut into this section here, so I can't really bring my blade from here down. So what I'm going to do is bring my blade down, but I don't want to cut into this corner either. So I'm going to bring my blade down. I'm going to press it down. I'm going to come down to the corner. Once that corner's cut, you can cut back up and go slow. As soon as you hit that edge, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it with the blade. So move that section out of the way. Okay. And I'm just going to move this. This is going to become our card base. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. And then this is terrible. This is so terrible with this cutting blade. Let me just see if I can find my cutting blade real quick. Sorry. My new cutting blades. All right, so I am going to just replace this cutting blade because this is terrible, terrible. Definitely should not be using a dull blade. So use those. Take that old one and get it out of the way. And just put this new one in. And these are actually really simple to put in. There's a little notch here on the paper trimmer. You can see a little opening in there. I don't know if you can, how well you can see that right there. And you just slide, don't put my finger in there. You just hover over that. You can feel it snap in, and it just, there you go. All right. We will get better cuts now. All right. So what I'm going to do for these two triangular pieces, the pieces that we removed, we're going to take a little bit off each of the sides. So I decided to take just a 1/4 inch off. So I'm going to line this up with, this is hard. It's hard because it's an angle. I mean, you could do it this way and line it up to the top. It's a 1/4 inch over here. You can line it up the 1/4 inch over here. I just lined it right here at this line here, which is the 1/4 inch, held it, and then cut. And then I flipped it around and did the same. Just like that, and you're going to do that with both pieces. Here. Okay. All right, so we are done with the paper trimmer. So I'm just going to get that out of the way. And I'm going to bring back my card pieces. All right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to, before we start putting any of this together, we're going to do some embossing. So, well, let's do the folding first. So here we are. This is the fold. This is the like the raised edge of your score mark. So we're just going to fold in here. I'm going to do the same thing here, just like this. I'm going to take my bone folder and give that a really good crease, both of them. And I like to do it, I like to open it up and do each one of them individually rather than trying to give them a crease, you know, when they're folded over each other like that. So this is basically, how simple is that? Look, how simple is that? Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to do some embossing. So what I liked to do is this is going to be a layering panel for here, and this is going to be one for here. So I want to be mindful of that when I put them into the embossing folder, which direction they're going. So this one, I'm going to just put this into the embossing folder, and you can, this is great. This embossing folder is huge, so you can line it up any way you want so that you get whatever embossed images you want. I'm going to roll that through. So what I'm going to do, this is a 3D embossing folder. So the only thing I need is the number 1 base plate and the number 4 plate. And I'm going to just take this sandwich and roll it through. Sorry about my arm there in the camera. Roll that through. And then here, pull that out. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Beautiful. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And again, because this one is going in this direction, that's how I want to put it in the embossing folder. I don't want to put it in this way and then have the embossing be debossed instead of embossed. So you're going to put that in there however you want, so you can get whatever leaves or design you want in there. That sandwich right in there. Roll that through. Bring this back in. Let's grab that piece. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm just going to glue these on. What I am going to do here is just take my multi-purpose glue and put this on. And you do have to be a little bit generous with these 3D embossing folders. I try not to get too close to the edge when I'm doing the glue, in case it's, you know, I don't want it to spill out and get all over the card. Now I will get it all over my fingers because that's just how I roll. That is just how I roll. We'll put that on there. Give that a good press. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. Flip it over. Use the multi-purpose glue. Get a good amount on there. And let's put this one on. just like this. Press that down, give that one just a minute to set. All right. So then I'm going to take, again, so this is so simple. This is it. This is basically a card. And now we just have to put a sentiment on. So I'm going to use my Moody Mauve ink, and I am going to tap my, sometimes the simplest things mean the most. I'm going to tap this right in here. And in this section, so this is going to be the inside sentiment of our card, but you're also going to be able to see it from the outside. So I'm just going to put that in there. I'm going to line that up where I want it in there. Give it a good press. And then I'm going to take this piece, the upper right-hand corner that we removed from our cardstock, and I'm going to use this so that I can put that thank you on there and then use the die cut. So I'm just going to come in, stamp that in there. That looks good. I'm going to close the ink because if you, good morning, Luann. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut this down a little bit so that I don't have to put this whole sheet of paper in the embossing machine. So I'm just going to line this up here. I'm going to move this out of the way. So I'm just going to come in with my plate again. So I've got my base plate and I've got my number 2 plate. I've got my cutting plate and one of my number 3 cutting plates. I'm going to put this. Now, when you put your dies in, if you've got one with a long straight angle, I would suggest putting it in at like an angle instead of, straight like this. It makes it a little bit easier to roll it through because you're not trying to roll that bar over a long straight area. So put that at an angle, put this in, and we're just going to roll this through. Oops, just shifted on me a little bit. Sorry. I usually like to put this, I like build my sandwich right on the embossing machine, like build it while it's right there so I can roll it right through. All right, so I'll roll that through again. Sorry if you see my arm there. Just going to come in there with this. I'm going to take that out and this. So you just get this nice little sentiment tag. I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals and put them on the back. And I'm going to put them not right on the edge, but I'm going to just, because I mean, you can put 3 on there if you want, put them right on the edge and then put 1 in the middle. You want to make sure that you have some support near the middle so that it doesn't sink. Not that there's going to be a lot of, stress on this sentiment tag, but we don't like saggy sentiments. So I'm just going to come in now and put this right up here, just like that. And that is it. That's our card. It's that simple. It's very simple. But whoever you give this card to is just going to be like, wow, that is great. So this card, I saw this card. I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw a Facebook reel that had somebody cutting this card, and I can't find the reel again. So I don't know. If you guys are better with Facebook and you can tell me how to find those reels again, then that would be awesome. Okay, so that's our card. Now you can add color to it. You can do, anything you want. So let me just show you some of the other examples that I have that I did. So there's a card that we made here. The one in the picture for this event was done on very vanilla cardstock using the Lost Lagoon ink. So it's the exact same design, just different colors. So then I came in with this one. This is not a Stampin' Up! Embossing folder, but this is a stamp, and this is a stamp from Labeled with Love. this is using basic white cardstock and lemon lolly cardstock. And then I just die cut the butterfly, flipped up his wings a little bit to give it a little bit of dimension. And this one opens this way. So I just went this way with it. We'll do that one. This one I made using a lemon lolly cardstock for the base, the basic white and Highland Heather. And then this uses for ink Highland Heather and Lost Lagoon. And this is the So Swirly embossing folder. You guys recognize that from other videos that I have done. And then this label here, put the sentiment, the butterfly, and this flower, all from the Labeled with Love stamp set. And this one opens this way. Plenty of room to write on the inside. Now, let's just say you don't have an embossing machine, or you don't have, a die cutting machine or anything. That's all right. You can do something a little more simple. You can just stamp images on there. So this one was what stamp set did I use for this one? Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, this one I think was the same thing. This was that, yes, the timeless arrangements. So the timeless arrangements, which I apologize, you can't get this anymore, but I used these three stamps down here, and I used the Petunia Pop and the Shy Shamrock, and then a little bit of the basic beige in here, just for a little bit more of a background. And this one is just, there's no extra layers on here. It's just one layer. I did the card base, the cutting, and then I just stamped the thank you in the basic beige, and I just fussy cut that out and popped that up on the dimensionals, the mini dimensionals. So this one just opens this way, like this, and a little ink up there in the corner. So this one's really super simple because you're not using any embossing folders or any die cuts. It's just using stamp, paper, and ink, and that's it. So there's that one. And then I wanted to do one that was maybe with some different colors. So I came in here with this one. This one is the Pebbled Path, using the Dotted Circles embossing folder, which is currently out of stock, but is supposed to be back in stock this upcoming week. These dies here are actually from a stamp set in the mini catalog called Golden Greenery. This one here is beautiful. Loving, loving, loving. I'm not quite ready to demonstrate cards that are Christmassy, so we'll just, we'll hold off on that. Using the same, this is the same thank you stamp, and this From the Bottom of My Heart, still from that Timeless Arrangements, because I just love that one. And this one opens this way. So this is Pebbled Path, and then Barely Beige for the inside of the card. And this color is Cherry Cobbler. And then the last one, I did this black and white. So what I did with this one is same thing. I cut the cardstock out of black, removed the one section, cut the other two at angles, and on the two panels that I had left, instead of embossing them, I just took a blending brush and I blended them with some white on the edges, stamped some white leaves from the Layering Leaves stamp set, and the Thinking of You stamped that inside with the same thing from the Layering Leaves stamp set. So this one just opens this way. So there's that. So there's that one. They're all the different variations. This the super simple card to make, but again, you give this card to somebody and they're going to say, wow, like that, what an amazing card, because they are amazing. So let me just flip down back to me. Hold on. Yeah. There. Yep. Yeah, Luann, I love the angles. I think it just gives it that something special, even though it's just really simple. So anyway, let me know what you think about this card. Let me know if you're gonna make it, because it's super simple. And if you do make it, drop a picture in the comments of this video so that I can see your version of this card, because we do love to see everyone's version of the card. So that's it for me. Nice short video, so that everybody can get to their um, Labor Day weekend festivities. So yeah, I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you have fun making this card. I hope this is something that was that's something that's easy enough for you to make and take on yourself. And yeah, good morning, Mom. You're a little bit late. All right. So have a great day, everyone, and I will see you next week.